Let's dive into it today. Could we be seeing the final silver crash starting to hit the market? We'll break it down for you. You don't want to miss it. Let's get into it quickly. Of course, I do want to thank our sponsor, and that is Tangem. Did you guys know that you can actually hold tokenized gold within your self-custody wallet? You can do that by just jumping over to tangem.com. You can, of course, get started over there. This is one of the best self-custody wallets out there when it comes to tokenized assets, crypto. Very easy to set up. 3 minutes, I would attest to that. Super simple, and always get the 3-card set. That way you have a backup. Very simple. Use the link down below. It does help us out. Before we bring on our guest today from Denario, I want to go over to the silver chart just to give you guys an insight on what's been happening. Obviously, we've been seeing gold start to adjust. Silver down almost 7% right now on the daily. This, of course, looking at the silver overall chart. And this retracement, we believe, this is healthy. So a potential pullback, then a little bit of a sideways bounce, and then another $5,000 target. This is in reference to gold. So what is this going to look like for silver? Obviously, we want to learn a little bit more about that. So we asked the Denario team to come on, and I've got the CEO, Yonghan Lee, who is coming in from Denario. Great to have you.
Hi, thank you for having me here.
You look at the pullback right now that we're seeing within silver, and also just the explosion that we've seen in tokenized commodities over this last 6 months. Is this something that you would anticipate as a normal process in a market like what we're dealing with silver? Because this is kind of a new thing for silver to see these kind of numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I think still we are in a phase where we have multi-year deficit. The mine supply and the recycling isn't keeping up with the demand from the industry and the investment. Actually, like a year ago, I always promoted that we will see this huge demand or increase of prices, and I think what we just faced in the last 2-3 days with some correction, as you mentioned, it is healthy. And but still, I mean, I got constant calls that there are people want to buy silver, so they want to buy dips. There are new players coming into the silver because they now see that in the media that silver price is taking up.
Sure. As far as the current state of the supply crisis that has been explained by analysts and a lot of people in the silver market, we've had many guys on our show that have talked about this for quite some time, that this was coming and that it is now here, the supply crisis. You look at what has happened within the London exchanges. Is this real? Do you feel like there is still a supply crisis going on with silver in the market?
Yeah, I think we had in the past a lot of speculators on falling silver prices, and we know that the silver market has been manipulated in the last 5-6 years. So I think that was kind of coming, especially with the industry demand. What we see with new technologies or new products like the solid state batteries, let's say more sustainable and green tech sector coming up, and that increases demand.
Why do you think we have not seen a tokenized silver beyond, I know Denario, of course, is tokenizing silver, but beyond Denario and a handful of others? I mean, you've got Tether, Paxos, some of the biggest suppliers out there in terms of digital assets that have tokenized gold. Why have we not seen this in the silver market? What do you think it is?
Oh, first of all, the gold market way bigger. I mean, it's 200 times bigger than silver. So silver is still a niche, although everyone knows because of silver coins from the ancient time how it was used and the silverware and so forth. But still, like as an investment and as a store of value, gold is way more prominent. So that's why we also see a lot more gold token projects than silver projects. Everyone says like the volatility is too high, so that's why they don't want to keep silver, put it in the portfolios. Now with all the silver price increase, plus we as a tokenized silver, we are actually really focusing on physical backed tokens. So our token is that you are the legal owner of the silver, underlying silver.
Yeah. I'm looking at your website, denario.swiss, and you've got the mobile app, the browser wallet, even the Web3 side of things, where you can kind of look at different features and advantages. But first of all, how are you guys tokenizing silver today? What's the process?
I want to emphasize that actually we tokenize silver granular, not silver bars or coins, which are banked precious metal. And silver granulars are classified as industrial material and has a few advantages. It cannot be confiscated by the government, and it's more robust against compared to bullions. We store them physical first in our high security storage in a free port. And then once we have the confirmation that it is stored in our storage, then we tokenize or mint our tokens. And with that, here, based on the Swiss DLT law, which exists since 2021, it is possible that we transfer the legal ownership through token. So you as a token holder, you are actually the legal owner of the underlying physical silver and have always the claim to redeem it.
So you can redeem physical silver. Do you guarantee delivery if somebody wanted to redeem it?
Sure, because it's always over collateralized. So we have the silver first and then mint the token. So we are transparent there. We have proof of reserve on as an oracle on chain. So you always can verify how much silver we have and how much token supply it is available.
All right, I'm looking at your site right here. This is the correlation to DSE, which is the tokenized silver. You can do this on Uniswap, guys. I'll show you this in a second, but you can see the price right there at 54.80, last refresh right there as we look at this. And within the blockchains that are being used, you got Polygon in there, Sonium, BNB, et cetera. So if you want to find it, you can just grab that smart contract right there, stick it into to Uniswap and be able to track this one down. But explain how the price is calculated, because when we were looking at this, say a comparison over here on Uniswap, doing an exact swap here, there's a slight arbitrage variance here. Is that normal? Why are we seeing two different things? Is it just the update? What's going on?
Yeah, actually, I mean, the Uniswap, we are in the process of preparing to put more liquidity into the Uniswap. So that's why there we have a lot more volatility on the price, because depending on the demand. We have a TVL of a bit more than 1.4 million on silver. So we are still in a ramp-up phase where we increase our supply on primary market. We try to conclude by mid-November to have enough liquidity that the price also is equal to our DSC price on the website.
Yeah, I'm looking at DeFi Llama right here to validate what you're claiming here in terms of the growing TVL. So that's good. Now, are you planning to make this available on other chains beyond Polygon, BNB, et cetera, like Avalanche, Sui, et cetera?
Actually, we are multi-chain. So where we see the need and demand of our token to be on that chain, we will deploy. So we own the process how to tokenize. With the technology, we can really bridge and deploy on any chain. But maybe on that question, what you just mentioned before on the pricing, I want to also emphasize that our price has also a markup on the silver spot price, but unlike other, let's say, gold or silver project, we don't have recurring fees. Means for custody, insurance, and management fees, there is no recurring, and the value of the token remains stable. There's no slow leakage of the value.
I see. Is there plans to move DSC onto tradable, centralized exchanges, or onto DEXs, in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think everyone knows that before put it on a secondary market, we need to have a substantial and relevant size of TVL on the primary market. And since it is physical backed, we cannot just mint tokens of 1 million of tokens and then put it on the exchange. So that's why we need to have a purchaser, like really it's private sales, that they believe that this is the future. It's an innovative product. And with that ticket size, we increase our TVL, and we will also then put it on the secondary market. On central exchange, we are in constant discussions already, but I mean, it comes not for free. So that's why we are looking for a good economic timing.
Yeah. All right, a couple of questions. First is supply. How do you guys go out to the market to be able to pull in supply? You're mentioning this is industrial grade, so where are your market makers?
Yeah, we work with a partner, a precious metal partner, trading partner here in Switzerland. Is also one of our shareholder. They are an established partner since more than 15 years. They're doing that as a core business, focus on silver, but they have also gold product, also gold granular product, but the main product is silver. So that's why we work with them together, and they have always an access and also to ensure that they can also redeem it, but also sell it back to the refinery. So all this silver granular comes from recycling refineries. So it is always high quality and 4 nines purity.
Let me ask you about this, because this is something we're seeing quite a bit on in terms of yield opportunities. This happens within the gold market quite a bit. Here's PaxG kind of talking about this. Any opportunities where we could see yield opportunities in DeFi for DSC coming down the pipe?
Yes, we did already a proof of concept with a collateralized borrowing protocol. And also that was also the reason that from day one, we wanted to be optimal integratable in the DeFi space. So that's why we came up with no recurring fees. Because especially if in lending and borrowing, it is crucial that you have a stable value and always the same amount. That's why we said, okay, we don't have recurring fees, but and it can be integrated and used in the DeFi space.
Yeah. Here in the U.S., Florida, the state we're in, passed a law here recently where they're recognizing gold and silver coins as legal tender, where it can be used to, for all sorts, and people have to be able to accept it. Do you feel like this is going to pressure the opportunity for boosting both silver and and gold in general, especially if you see other states starting to kind of adopt this model?
We will see how much the impact will be on the market and also on the silver price. But I think, we know that silver coins, how it was used in the ancient time, it was the trusted method of payment. The adoption comes, especially in those countries with high inflation. With hyperinflation, they see there is a real problem there, right? And then that's a real solution, to actually a good solution to solve that. And I think, depending a bit on the outlook of all these countries in the emerging markets, then we will see how much impact they will have on the silver price.
Talk to me about the quality or the safeness of holding the physical asset here in the U.S. versus like what you guys are doing there in Switzerland. Is there a difference between U.S. and Swiss silver?
We saw in the last few months with all these changes of tariffs or introducing tariffs, and then you see that one is like on one day we move everything from one country to the other, and so that's definitely, I think, one of the impact. But Switzerland is well known as a safe and stable, political stable environment. So that's also one of the reasons why already now we hold a lot of valuable assets, not only precious metal, but also arts and so forth here in Switzerland for global customers. It is maybe also a good consideration to diversify geographically your holdings, not only having everything in the US, but also have something here in Switzerland.
Well, that's always a good, a good strategy, diversification, and also just leveraging, I shouldn't say leverage, but hedging against a lot of these volatility scenarios that play out in these geo-economic conditions that we're dealing with. Price for silver by end of year, do you think we're going to continue to see this upward trend here, or what is your anticipation?
I think yes. The trend is definitely not stopped yet. Every correction is healthy, but again, there are people who just waiting to enter this market and buy silver. I'm very cautious with price calls, but at some point, I think we will also reach a 3-digit price. The question
Ooh,
is when,
okay.
but not
Yeah.
only.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people looking at silver, of course, is a critical one. As far as the tokenization side of things, because this is the thing we don't understand, is why it hasn't been tokenized already and really pushed out into the market at a scale where there's many products like yours out there. Do you think that tokenized silver at scale will increase adoption in terms of an investment portfolio item?
I mean, in the traditional financial sector, we see also this trend to tokenize everything, right?
Yes.
And also precious metal or particular silver and gold, silver. It makes sense because it's big, large, clumpy sizes, and to have the tokenized version means it is physical there. You're the legal owner, but you keep the ownership in your wallet who has no other party access. So,
Yeah.
and on top of that, we can add new features like the DeFi integration to turn it to a yield-bearing product, but also lend your silver with just a few clicks. Plus, on top of that, we can add the convenience to pay for in your daily life for goods and services. So that's why I think tokenization will be just an evolution of the next wave or next phase of digitalization.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the tokenized commodity market cap right now, 3.64 billion. Interesting here is the Ethereum activity, but even the Plume network, I know you guys are on it, BNB, slight, but this is the growth that we're seeing in terms of total active addresses out there within it. 19,000 active addresses, 152,000 holders, which is up almost 7% from just 30 days ago. So maybe that is an indicator here of more activity coming in. Yonghan, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Paul.
You bet. All right, you guys, make sure we're going to be covering a little bit more around some of these precious metals products because they do have correlation to what's going on in the broader markets, especially when it comes to crypto and in general, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Make sure and jump into the Diamond Circle. That's a place where you can get additional content from us. We leave a link down below. Catch me out there on X at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on The Paul Barron Show.